I think that if you want to produce, you just go produce something. And now it's so easy to record stuff, you know, and you have to kind of want it, you know. You gotta like really want it. But I'm assuming that the people there, this hypothetical would involve somebody who's already got that. They know they got to do it. And so the actual process of it, you know, you can easily learn engineering skills. You can do those on the job, learning it as you do it by yourself with an Inbox or a Pro Tools or whatever, you know, and just record music. I've seen a lot of musicians, you know, be hesitant about recording or playing or play all the time. Play on the corner, play at the old folks' home, play at the hospital, play at the school, play at the church, play wherever you can, and get your act together. You know, you need to have a goal, and you need to have a plan to get to that goal. And it's just not good enough to say, I want to do this. You know, you've got to define the goal, and and everybody in that band's got to be headed in the same direction. If they aren't, you're not going to get there. This is a pretty typical management problem, you know, in any company, in any organization. It's certainly true in a band as well. So now you can have a successful college band, and 3 guys want to be rock stars and 3 guys want to be dentists, but in college they just want to play music and have fun. Okay, that's your goal. So how do you have a successful college band where you can make a little bit of money and have fun and actually, you know, get better at being a band? This can be done, and there's just lots of examples of it. If you have a different goal, then you have to have people who are all headed in that, who adopt that goal, who agree on that goal. So if it's not something as theoretical as that or as psychological as that, and it's more a question of you know, just individual, what do I do, you know, to get from here to where I want to go? Well, again, you have to figure out where you are, which is not as easy as it sounds, and then where you want to go. And you could set up metrics for yourself. By this time, I want to do this, then I want to do this. And you've got to be able to determine if you're making progress. You know, it's almost using a business mentality to achieve a creative goal. And it's just a way of structuring your approach. But I think it's pretty simple to adopt an artist, you know, to go hear somebody you like, you love, or affects you, you know, in a positive way, or just makes you feel differently, and then do something about it. If you want to produce music, you know, you can produce live music, you can produce recorded music, you can be involved with music on many levels in many ways. But if you have this desire of you want to have something to say about how a band does what they do, then give yourself that power. You know, tell yourself, I can have something to say about this because I have something to say about this. You know, I have ideas about this. A lot of people go hear music and they don't think one thing other than whatever they hear is what was intended. And they either like it or they don't. They don't really intellectualize it. They don't break it down. So if you want to produce, break it down. Listen very carefully to each instrument, you know, and just listen. And you'll find that people play out of tune. You'll find that people don't play consistently. You'll find that people play wrong notes. You'll find that people don't have a good sense of time, or do. You'll find the good, the bad, the in-between, you know. And then the idea is, how do you move these moving parts around? And you'll also find that at some parts of the day or the night or the gig, people play differently than in others. You know, there's nothing like, I mean, I've seen jazz musicians of the first rank play better when a pretty girl sits down. I mean, you know, well, I guess, you know, guys will be guys. So there's no telling what's going to motivate people. And But I do think that you can go to a club and you can just assume that you write a report about it, and you know how go to a band, you know, think it through, and say to this band, I really love what you did, and then stay with that band. Go see them more often. To your point, you can kind of talk to them more openly. And the idea for a band to be successful, it seems to me, is they need to do some sort of analysis of what they do and break it down into its component parts, and then and define what defines excellence in every aspect of it, and how do you get there? You know, what's the plan to get there? But a lot of bands don't do that. A lot of musicians don't do that. They don't think of it like that. But I have to tell you, I think that musicians generally intuitively know this, because they will sit in a practice room and they will work on something for 6 hours straight and maybe get up and get something to drink or eat or whatever. But they can focus. They understand method. They understand the problem of getting better. This is where I am, this is where I want to be, this is what I have to do to get there. And you're going to do it until you get there, or whatever it is that you play. And that's a very, that you can be a great lawyer if you can do that. You could be anything if you can do that. So, but you can't be a great musician unless you do that. You've got to figure out how to get that process, you know. So in a conservatory model school, for example, it's about practicing and studying with a teacher who's going to give you information you didn't have, and you listen and you try to let that become a part of you, or not. You can also learn by knowing what not to do. You know, sometimes it's great to hear a bad band. You know, it's real easy to figure out what's good, what's bad about it. So if you hear a great band, it's kind of overwhelming. It's like, wow, you can't even bother thinking about it because they got you feeling so strongly. But so it's not a bad idea to go hear some bad music occasionally, just for practice.